Hello and Assalamualaikum. In this video, my teammates and I will be telling you about evolution of bryophytes, colonization of land. But before that, let me introduce my teammates and myself first. I am Hidayah and my other two teammates are Isabel and Hilman. We are from K14, so let's begin. I will introduce you guys about evolution of bryophytes, colonization of land. Generally, before you guys listen to further explanation by Isabel and Hillman. Speaking about bryophytes, these three plants which are liverworts, hornworts and mosses cannot be forgotten. Why? It is because they were the first plants to colonize land. They only superficially appear to have roots, stems and leaves, but they lack of vascular tissue. By definition, true roots, stems and leaves must contain vascular tissue. Due to this reason, they are called land vascular plants. Before going further, what is vascular tissue? Vascular tissue is specialized for transport of water and organic nutrients throughout the body of a plant. Vascular tissue also provides support to plants. So bryophytes typically are low-lying and some mosses can only reach maximum height of 20 cm. Bryophytes' bodies are covered by cuticle, which is interrupted in hornworts and mosses by stomata, and they also have apical tissue that produces complex tissue. Do you know bryophytes are the only land plants which the gymptophyte is dominant? Wait, gymptophyte? What is that? The gymptophyte is the dominant life phase in the bryophyte. The gymptophyte produce structures known as antheridia and archegonia, which produce the male and female gametes respectively. Antheridia produce flagellated sperm, which means they need moisture to swim towards the egg located in archegonia. These two characteristics of them, which are lacks of vascular tissue but having flagellated sperm, mean bryophytes can be found in moist location. Don't forget that bryophytes can reproduce asexually. That's why some bryophytes compete well in harsh environment.
Oops, I forgot something. Before I pass to the next presenter, I also want to highlight here about the contribution of bryophytes. They may look small, but we must know that bryophytes plays an important part in our environment. They colonize sterile soils, absorb nutrients and water, and release them slowly back into the ecosystem, contributing to the formation of soil for new plants to grow on. Let's proceed with the next members.
Hi, my name is Hilman, so I will continue our topic with liverworts and hornworts. A liverwort is a flowerless spore-producing plant with the spores produced in small capsules. Liverworts are divided into two groups. First one, the thallus liverworts with flattened bodies, known as the thallus and leafy liverworts, which is superficially resemble mosses. The name of liverworts refers to the lobes of the thallus, which to some resemble the lobes of the liver. The majority of liverwort species are the leafy type. Liverworts are distributed worldwide, through most commonly in the tropics. For example, thallus liverworts, which are branching and ribbon-like, grow on moist soil or damp rocks. While leafy liverworts are found in similar habitats as well as on tree trunks in damp woods, and the body of thallus liverworts resemble a lobed liver, hence the common name liverwort as the liver plant. Liverwort is a Marchantia species. It can reproduce both asexually and sexually. Sexual and asexual generation characterize a liverwort life cycle, and most of liverworts can reproduce asexually by means of jammae, which are discs of tissues produced by the gametophyte generation. The jammae are held in special organs known as the jamma cups and are dispersed by rainfall. Fragmentation of the thallus can also result in new plants. And the single cell and halide extension structures are called rhizoids. It anchor most liverworts and assist in the absorption of the water. As we can see in the picture, for sexual reproduction, it depends on these headed stalks that bear antheridia, as well as on umbrella-headed stalks named archegonia. The gametophyte generation consists of the haploid thallus and is the dominant generation. It develops from a germinating spore. Sperm from the male reproductive organ, called antheridium, travel through an aqueous environment to fertilize the eggs that are still retained in the female reproductive organ named archegonium. The sporophyte generation develops from this diploid embryo and forms a sporangium at its apex. Spores are released when the sporangium ruptures, marking the start of a new gametophytic generation. And the plants are not economically important to humans, but do provide food for animals, facilitate the decay of logs, and aid in the disintegration of rocks by the ability to retain moisture. Let's move on to hornworts. A hornwort is a flowerless spore-producing plant, with the spores typically produced in a tapering, horn-like or needle-like capsule which develops from a flattish green sheet. Hornwort is a bryophyte, same as the liverworts, and it has a gametophyte stage and a sporophyte stage. In hornworts, the gametophyte consists of the flattish green sheet and is also called the thallus. The hornwort's gametophyte usually grows as a thin rosette or ribbon-like thallus between 1 until 5 cm in diameter. Although some of the hornworts live on trees, most of them live in moist, well-shaded area. They will photosynthesize, but also have a symbiotic relationship with cyanobacteria that can fix the nitrogen from the air, even though hornworts has only one chloroplast per cell. Hornworts can bypass alternation of generation by reproducing asexually through fragmentation. It is the same as the liverworts, as they asexually happen when fragmentation of leaves into jame, a group of cells that detach from the thallus and can start a new plant. For sexual reproduction, the life cycle trend of hornworts is actually same as liverworts. Hornworts reproduce sexually by means of waterborne sperm, which travel from the male sex organ called anteradium to the female sex organ called archegonium, and it will be fertilized in the female sex organ. It will develop an embryo and then into the sporangium. Then the sporangium will release the spore that have developed within it, and it will undergo the mitosis and will have the male gametophyte spore and the female gametophyte spore. Then it will start back over. I think that is all from me about the liverworts and the hornworts. Thank you for lending your ears.
Hello guys, we have learned about the liverworts and hornworts. Now I will talk about the mosses. So what is mosses? What do you think? Mosses have three distinct groups, which is peat mosses, granite mosses, and true mosses. Where do the mosses prefer to live? Most of them prefer to live in shaded location, damp, and in the temperate zone. But some of them also can survive in the desert and other inhabit bugs and rotting logs. But in dry environment, they may become shivered, turn brown, and look completely dead. But don't worry, they are not dead. As soon as it rains, the mosses will turn back to green and resume its metabolism activity. There is a mosses that is important to humans. It is called ASPER17, which is peat moss. It is used in gardening to improve the water holding capacity of the soil and used historically as lawn dressing on battlefields. 1% of Earth's surface is peatland, where dead sphagnum accumulates but doesn't decay.
Now, let's learn more about the mosses and its life cycle. The predominant stage of the life cycle of mosses in the gametophyte consists of two stages, that is protonema and leafy stage. In mosses, the leafy gametophyte shoots bear either Enteridia or Archegonia. They attach to multicellular and branch rhizoid. The male sex organ is called Enteridia. They produce a flagellated enterozoid, while the female sex organ called Archegonia, they produce a single egg. The enterozoid swim in external water to Archegonia. The enterozoid fuses with the egg to produce the zygote. The zygote and developing sporophytes are retained within the archegonium. The mature sporophyte is not free-living but is attached to the photosynthetic gametophyte by stalk and derive nourishment from it.
The meiosis occurs and spores are produced in the operculum. When the leaf operculum falls off, the spores are already mature. So the spores germinate to produce gametophyte. So now I would like to present about our model. So as you guys can see, this is the model of sporophyte. Sporophyte is the diploid multicellular stage in the life cycle of a mosses. It develops from the zygote produced when a haploid each cell is fertilized by a haploid sperm. So as you guys can see, this is the stalk of the sporophyte. It is attached to the gametophyte. Then this is the sporanium. Sporanium is the place where the meiosis occurs and spores are produced. Let's see to the operculum. Operculum is part of capsule of the sporophyte. When the operculum is opened, it means that the spores inside the capsule are already mature. The spores are released by the water currents. Teeth that attach to the sporanium will project inward from the margin of the capsule. It will close the opening, but will let the opening to be opened when the weather is dry.
First of all, I am grateful to my group which consists of myself, Hidayah and Izzatul for successfully made the video together. We have made many discussions and also helped each other in order to complete the video. Most importantly, everyone was giving their best and did not become sleeping partner. Besides, we want to thank Sir Azman for giving us this opportunity to make the presentation by ourselves and giving guidance on how to complete the project. In conclusion, we have learned a lot about the topic we present and hope to have more opportunities like this in the future. That is all from us. Bye!